Hi, this is Mike from Minimal 3DP, and today I'm going to continue my series on setting up Klipper. Today I'm going to work on setting up the Printer.cfg file for my Sidewinder X1 that I'm converting over to Klipper. So let's go ahead and get started. So here is the printer I'm working on. Right now I have it all set up where Klipper is up and running. My problem right now is, although I'm connecting via the Printer.cfg, it's not actually set up or anything else. So I'm going to walk you through the steps that I use to set things up. I'm also going to apologize if I lose my voice. I've been struggling with COVID over the past week and a half, and this is honestly the first time my voice and I've been strong enough to actually record. Let's start off by taking a look at the Klipper.cfg. Well, I'm sorry, the Printer.cfg. So as you can see, I'm looking at mainsail. We're actually connected to the printer. I'm going to go up here and just click and see what this warning's about. That's a warning about a path. That's okay for right now, so I'll ignore that. And let's go over to machine and then printer.config. Now, where we left things last time was as we scroll down here, we'll notice that the MCU is connecting appropriately. None of the settings are right, and the steppers aren't activated. So in this video, we'll go ahead and just get everything configured, and hopefully the printer will be up and running. So to start things off, I just want to go look at sample configurations. Although the printer's already running, the easiest thing I found to do is, because I'm not running this as a stock board, I'm going to scroll down and just look for artillery. So I'm looking for the Sidewinder X1, or in my case, I think the X2 might work as well. Now, instead of scrolling back and forth here, let's use the search function. And right now, they don't have a Klipper configuration for the X1, but I believe the X2 has the same dimensions. So what I'm going to do is just use this. Go ahead and get these side by side. There we go. And so I have the X2 on the right, X1 left, and I'm just going to go through these slowly but surely. And I'll start off with the max position is going to be, I actually know this is 310. It's 300 over here, but we'll leave that as is. And we'll do 310 again right here. So now the X and Y positions we have correct. Z, remember what that is, so we'll go with the 410 that's on the X2. That should be all right. And my extruder, I'll have to go and look up what that needs to be. We'll come back to that. The heated bed should be, what we'll do is we're just going to copy settings from the X2 and we'll move this over to the X1. And I'm going to get rid of these PID settings because we'll rerun that. Let's just keep looking down here as we scroll down. Now the BL Touch, I don't believe this is correct, so we'll have to look over and query online to see what that needs to be. Let's keep going down here. And we're just going to copy the printer settings from the X2 and then paste that over into our X1. Now I've made those couple of setting changes. That's not very many, but I'm going to hit save and restart because I want to make sure that as I'm making changes, things do connect. And it turns out I actually do need those PID settings. So let's go back and we'll paste those back in to the heated bed. We'll just add those to the bottom, save and restart. Again, the idea is as we're making changes to keep coming back and make sure that the settings we're using all work. I found a sample I want to use, so I'm just going to go over here and paste that in. I'm going to set the Z offset to 10. And then I also need to go over here to my Sidewinder X2 configuration. Let's get what the Z safe homing should be and make some other changes to this should be 155 and 155. And let's change the samples just use this right here, this configuration. Let's save and restart to make sure that's still running. So as you can see, we're still going, we're showing temperatures. And again, this is what I do, is just step by step, I make these changes. I want to keep looking at that BL touch, and the offsets aren't correct. So I'm going to have to look that up, the hot end I'm using, and I'll come right back. So my offset should be 29, -34. I pulled that from Marlin, save and restart. And what I'm going to try to do is let's try a home all and see how that works right now. I'm just going to hit home all. I'm going to walk over to my printer and get ready to turn it off just in case. So when I attempted the home all, I got this sign right here, endstop X still triggered after a retract. So what I'm going to try is do the command query endstops, and that is showing both of my end stops are triggered. And that's not correct. They should be open. So let's try this change. I'll go to machine. And on the end stop here, I'm going to go in between the caret and the PC1, and I'm going to add an exclamation point down here for stepper Y, end stop, caret, exclamation, PC3. Let's see what that does for us. See, we have position end stop. Need to take that out because we're using BL Touch. Save and restart. We're back up and rolling again. Now I'm going to try do the query end stops again. And right now, those are showing open, open, and triggered. We need to make a change to the Z, I believe. So when I run the query end stops, X is open, Y is open, now Z is triggered. So I need to invert the Z, which is going to be the BL Touch. I'm going to scroll down here. There's my BL Touch, and I'm going to put an exclamation in between the caret and the PE4 and hit save and restart. So that exclamation point basically inverses settings. Now we'll go back and do the query end stop again, and everything's showing open, so that should be correct. Now I'm going to try the home all again, and then stand by the printer to make sure that I'll shut it off if it's ramming the bed. As you can see, it was ramming the side of the bed. X actually went the wrong direction. So this is a problem we can fix. Let's go to machine, go to the printer, go to X. Here's the direction pin. As we mentioned, that exclamation point is our friend. We're going to put exclamation point, save and restart. And let's let it restart. Now, once it's restarted, we'll go back over to the dashboard and let's hit that home all again. It wouldn't surprise me if the Y is backwards as well. Let's hit home all. Now, as you can see, X is going the proper direction. Let's see if it actually stops. So it has stopped. Z appears to be going the right way. I'm going to put my hand on the power button, and the BL Touch failed. So let's look at our settings, and we'll keep working on that and get things going. So I had a loose wire on my sidewinder. I got that fixed. And now if I hit home all, it's actually working. So that's looking good. So now we have it homing correctly. We have it moving in the proper directions. And now let's just look at some additional settings I've gone ahead and added to my Printer.cfg. As you can see, I've added some bed mesh settings as well as screw tilt and the bed screw settings. And these I just looked up online. I have a couple different configurations that had it for the Sidewinder X1. Now, looking at this, it looks like the only thing I needed to change again was adding in bed screw stuff and the bed mesh. Again, you can look those up online and get ideal settings. I'm just going to look here. Something I want to change is the max velocity or max acceleration. I'm going to up that to 3000. That should be okay. And then let's go ahead and test that hot end and make sure we're getting some heat, as well as making sure that the fans are coming on. And I should be able to do that as I'm working on the PID tuning. So to get started, what I'm going to do is hit save and close here, wait for this to restart, and then I'm just going to load some filament into the printer. I always load filament in, and that way I can test with the filament in when I do the PID tuning. So I'm just going to start off by going to the extruder and setting that to 205. Oops, 205. And hitting enter. And as you can see, that's moving right up pretty quickly. So I'm just going to go over and load things up, and then we'll go ahead with the PID tuning. Now with the printer heating up, on down, I'm turning on the part cooling fan. That is working. But I'm also noticing the cool head fan is not working. So let me take a look at the settings and we'll see how we need to fix that. But for right now, let me just load things up and then move on from there. Now, in order to get this hot end fan going, I'm just going to scroll down here and look at what's this heater fan comment. So I was able to get the fan working. All I needed to do was set it up correctly. I had some wiring issues, but again, put it on this PB6 pin, and that worked perfectly. That's working now. What I'm going to do is load filament back into the printer because I had to take it out, and then we'll start doing some PID tuning. Now I have filament loaded in my printer. I'm going to get cool down here just to cool it off. Then I'm going to paste in my command to do the PID tuning for the hot end. And I'm doing 205. That's typically what I do for PLA. So I'm just going to start this and then let it run through PID cycle. So with my PID tuning complete, I'm just going to config, copy and paste. So now I have saved the PID tuning for the hot end. Now I'm going to do the same process with bed. Here's the same command for bed. Go ahead and run that. And that'll run through, and then I'll just need to save the config there. So now the bed has completed. Save config again. And that's going to save this new PID tuning for both the bed and the hot end config file. Now, there's a variety of optimizations I can make to the printer.config file. That includes updating the rotational distances, the pressure advance, and some other features. But for right now, I have a working printer.config, so I'm just going to stop there. If there are certain configurations or tests you would like to see me run on camera, just post them in the comments. I appreciate your time. If you have any questions or comments, please post them below. Thanks. Have a good day. This is Mike from Minimal 3DP, and I want to thank you for joining me today. If you have any questions or comments, please post them below. If you need some additional help, I've also posted some links in the video description. You can set up a 15-minute help session with me, and I'm more than happy to sit down with you and see if I can help you out. If you need some additional help, I'm also going to try doing 1-hour sessions for anybody that's interested. And like I said, I'm testing this stuff out. I want to thank you again for joining me, and I look forward to talking to you again next time. Thanks. Have a good day. Bye.